Holy cow, boys and girls! Today we usually have three a night. Card subject to change. Somebody had to drop off at the tail end of the evening, but look who I got with us to fire it off at 5 p.m. It is.
That's the sound.
What?
Oh, we're back. We're back.
You're a very powerful man. You're hacking my earphones right now.
I think that was the train. We got the train right down this way.
I thought the heavens were coming down on us. I'm like, wow, I didn't even get to start yet.
It's the city life. Sorry about that, man. New York City life.
Hey, that's quite all right. This is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, Jay Vara. Man, thank you for spending the time with us today, my friend.
Thanks for the invite, man.
Hey, absolutely. I mean, I was going through my stuff and some were reaching out, but I'm going through my list and I go, if there's one guy that I have to talk to is one Jay Vara, because we've only met a few times, but enough times to like get a nice little relationship going. And man, it's been a good ride. What you give to the fans, we love what you do. So, I mean, I love talking about character. We could talk about, how your upcomings as a wrestler, maybe even if you were a referee at times, because you never know. We don't get too personal though, because I stalk you. I mean, I follow you on the face page, so we don't get too personal. So what I like to do though, it's just a couple friends hanging out, talking to the fans, because we like to know the men and women, especially at this point in time, because it's kind of a weird time. So I would love to start with that, with the whole thing going on right now. Jay Vara, the family, everybody good right now?
Thank goodness everybody's A-okay. Just keeping a close eye on everything going on, especially here in New York. It's been the most affected area in the country. So just hoping this goes away sooner than later, honestly, and everybody stay the hell home. And stuff like this, like content like this, what we're creating, it just makes things better for everybody who's doing exactly what they have to do to stay home and stay healthy. So it's better to just stay home and create content, guys. It's the best advice I could make.
That's kind of how this all started. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to miss the hell out of everybody out there. May it be the wrestling fam that I've kind of grown to make friendships with the fans and stuff in different promotions. But it's not only that. I miss talking to you boys and girls out there, because you guys are so talented. We've networked over a course of a couple years, and I've made some strong friendships with you guys. And this was a good way. So that's a great point, because this is exactly why I'm doing it. So we can all kind of hang out and shoot the shh about wrestling. Jay Vara, I like to cuss, but I'm not sure Jay Vara is one to cuss. I never asked, but I kind of got that feeling. So we're just going to kind of keep it a little squeaky clean tonight, because Jay Vara, you have been an amazing character for me. And it's not like you've created some over the top crazy character. You put on a pair of trunks, you put on your boots, you put on your knee pads, but you look gorgeous. You come out and you perform amazing in the ring. It doesn't take much if you kind of got that little package going. You got the look, you got a physique. What I like to do is, again, we talk about characters. So why don't we just kind of start right there? Jay Vara, is that a character, or, as I've been talking to the men and women, is it an extension of yourself kind of amped up a bit?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I usually use the whole name, Jason Vara, but I kind of cut it short because it's funny that you told me there's a million Jay Varas online. I guess I gotta either extend the name or add the complete man to it, because, man, that Jason Vara is kind of like I'm trying to get everybody to chant that name, Jason, or get a good chant going. But Jay Vara works just as fine. Honestly, the whole gimmick, everything together is the complete Jason Vara. And I'm pretty much like what you say. I'm the total package. I got a little bit of everything you need to bring it into the square circle and kind of, put guys on their asses. Been traveling for about 9 years altogether, and been around the East Coast, traveled overseas, I've been to England also. Yeah, Belgium actually also. One match in Belgium. And it was actually really interesting, pretty much coming together with the character. It is an amped up version of myself because I'm just a regular guy from New York, but I had to kind of tweak it just a bit, just to kind of make people be like, "Whoa, who the hell's that guy?" I always hear about the airport test. You know, when you're coming out of the airport, you want to catch people's eyes. You know, so I just figured, let me get in the best shape of my life, wear some speedos and do the damn thing. Kind of like how I watched my heroes do it when I was younger. I mean, Austin, Orton, The Rock, all those guys look kind of like what I portray on camera. So kind of got turned up a notch, pretty much, when you put it like that.
You know, now that you mentioned some of those names, I never really thought about it, but you do kind of, and I'm The Rock, you've got that kind of thing going on. The crowd absolutely loves you. The ladies, they love Jay Vara. But you
Could
get up
only
on
hope.
but when you get up on that turnbuckle, I mean, you're not taking the Rock's pose, but when you get up there, now that I look back at some of the events, because I've seen you at some gorgeous outdoor events that were really, really cool to go to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And now that you say The Rock, I'm looking back, and I don't have much of a brain left, but I see The Rock. You just
Cool.
hit the nail on the head, man. You are like
Awesome, man.
a younger Rock. You come in, your physique, your look. Again, the ring prowess is really cool. So I would actually like to kind of work with that a little bit. You're no slouch in the ring, so you've obviously been trained and trained by maybe more than one people, because sometimes if you go to one school and start off and you get that thing, hey, that's cool, but I'm going to go try here. So give us a little journey on how Jay Vera got in, and if it was just at one specific school, because again, sometimes you got to get a little experience here and there.
That is the truth. I started out training in 2009, pretty much at Johnny Rod's school in Brooklyn, and Johnny Rod's is a great teacher. You want your foundation, Gleason's gym. I mean, you learn pretty much all the good habits. You know what I mean? Ring presence. You do the whole nine. You know, pretty much a beginner's level. After that, I just started wrestling different shows. There's a lot of different lucha shows out here in New York. There's a lot of different shows in Jersey, Connecticut. You guys know Massachusetts. It just trickles down. There's work everywhere. You just got to find the locations, find the school, and get yourself out there and pretty much show people what you've got. Like whether it's a seminar, I've done a load of seminars, and that's like your interview. It's almost
Mhm.
like your resume. Like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing in the ring at this extent. Um, I mentioned going overseas. I did a month at WXW Germany with
Yeah.
Walter.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Walter was the legitest. It's, I mean, it is what it is. He's a champion for a reason. I mean, that guy trained the hell out of me that one day, and I mean, they were on tour for most of the time in the month that I was there. But man, you learn so much when you're just there. It's the ring. It's you and a couple other guys, and you just got to brainstorm and start coming up with stuff, and you kind of hone your craft. You whatever project you want to be, whatever persona you want to be, that's the time where I kind of molded it together and, no pun intended, completed the process. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, I see what you did there. Now the complete package again. It's. I always talk about making a character or a gimmick, if you will, to become a character and evolve that into something. It's a big package. It's not just a look. And your name says it. It's a complete thing going on. It's not just a look. It's not just the attire. It's not
yeah,
just your move set. It's not just your mindset, because you got to have that too. There's a lot of things. And people think they could just jump and wrestle all willy nilly and think they can do it. And
yeah, yeah.
Jay Vera, uh, that's not the case, is it, sir?
Not at all. I mean, you gotta be able to handle traveling a lot. I tell the guys a lot. I mean, I think I had some tenure here to kind of give advice, everybody's always asking me like, oh, how did what'd you do to get up here? What'd you do to get up there? You got to market yourself. You don't want to look like every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the street. You wanna look the part. You know what I mean? And definitely work out. I mean, I got a weight set right here. I got the bench table and everything. You got to take matters into your own hands and say you want to be on TV. Ultimately, that's the choice. You want to be on television and do this full time and get a paycheck and be happy with what you do. You know what I mean? But train a lot, eat right, find a good reputable school, and bust your ass. Do what you got to do to, you can have a job, part-time job, and still train and get a workout in. You know what I mean? That's the essential parts. Then everything else with the character and what you want to present on camera, your timing, all that comes with years and years of experience. But you put it together little by little. You put it together, and then before you know it, you're like, wow. You can make yourself on the WWE 2K game, and you're like, wow, I actually you put the pieces together in your brain, and then you apply them in real life. It's the best result when you finally see the finished result. It's the best feeling.
Now, you don't come out as the complete Jay Vara right out of the box because you're not complete yet. Were you always Jay Vara or Jason, as you were speaking earlier? Was the name always there?
Yeah, the name was always there. I also have a tag team that I do, the World Class Bodies. And I remember, I think I saw you a couple shows where we came in together. We did a tag team match, and I kind of have a partner. His name is Tony Vega. He's World Class Bodies. We're just always traveling everywhere, pretty much doing the tag team division. But we do have solo careers. So he has his persona, I have mine. And at the end of the day, you have to brand yourself and make yourself what you present. You come out, I come out, I don't have like a gown or anything like that. I have a vest, I have my trunks, my boots, pretty traditional look that we have going on. But you do the work in the ring, you get an interview, you show that character. I feel like as soon as you come out, that camera, whatever camera's on you, you kind of have your time to say a promo right there. Whether they can hear the audio or not, you do a sign language, you show them that, hey, I'm this guy. Like, watch what I'm about to do. You know what I mean? It's little things like that that I kind of add to the character.
It's funny you mention that because this is probably something I've never spoken about on this show. And I'll use, I don't know, Shawn Michaels is a great example.
Yeah.
His pyro goes off. The crowd is going absolutely bonkers, right? Because we all love Shawn Michaels. And he's doing his thing. But when he's twirling around and he's coming down that ramp, he's saying a bunch of stuff to the fans and he's pointing and he's doing this. We can't hear a damn thing he's saying, but
not a damn thing.
He's communicating with us. And was like, yeah.
And it's like that makes you connect. It makes you connect to the guy. Like you see, Austin is my all-time favorite, and he's always like mouthing off. You don't know what. I'm pretty sure he's cursing his life away, but it makes you wanna like, what is he like? Wow, what is he? He's mad, or he's excited, or he's obviously into what he's doing. So you want to watch. It makes you want to watch, and it's all those things I used to watch when I was younger. I'm like, why is he just mouthing off random stuff? Like, the guy's right there, the guy's right in the ring, but it creates a moment, it creates a tension, it creates some type of environment, which is all wrestling is pretty much moments and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I speak about that a lot on this stirring the pot thing because we remember things growing up watching WWF, and like I came up a little bit earlier, so I was watching like WCCW, AWA, the older stuff like that, and the upcoming NWA, the original NWA. But I'll tell you, man, it doesn't kind of matter because if you're drawn to a character, then you're drawn to a character. They did their job instantly. They came through that curtain, they got you invested, and that's as long as that little spark of magic can happen. And again, that's what Jay Vara presents to us. and we eat it up, and we kind of take that ride with you. If you're getting your ass beat, we're like, don't do that to Jay Vara. If you're winning, if you're winning, we're cheering you up, so you totally take us on that ride. Now you mentioned like a guy like Stone Cold, very abrasive, against the grain, hates authority, kind of stuff like that. Were you always drawn to those really huge characters like that in wrestling as you were watching it?
Yeah, I was always drawn to those guys who are just ass kickers. Like The Rock is another good example. I did like the dark characters also. I like the Kanes, the Undertakers, the Mankinds, because man, the way they express themselves. I mean, Kane didn't talk much in the '90s, but the way the character evolved, he had like an arc, like a story arc, and it's so cool to see how through the years, if you're consistent and you're a character that holds weight, there's eventually a story arc that builds, and it's like, wow, people get to go through that ride on TV. I mean, it's possible to do it in the independents also, with footage and just circulating, and like, there's so many elements we could use to bring character development to independent scene. Man, I could only imagine what could be accomplished. The amount of people that may want to watch a show if the production value just takes a little bit of you take a notice when the production value increases in the show, and then you're like, wow, I gotta check these guys out live. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's the best.
The fans were so easy. We gravitate to anything. We're like little sheep, just like what's his face? Jericho has said over the years, pandering to the crowd and all of that crap. But we're so easy, and we gravitate to things when it comes to wrestling, because if we just see something a little bit different, that you've seen so much over the course of the history of wrestling and where wrestling has taken us, and the evolution of wrestling. Because you can look back at the days I was growing up, and it was a lot of mat wrestling. There was a very little high flying. There was some weaponry used in a special way, I guess you can say it. So it was very impactful to us, the fans.
Yeah, less is more. Back in the day, there was a lot less of the acrobatic and I mean, everything was done very well at the end of the day, and things have to change, but you can still implement those old school things into this environment, and that's kind of what I kind of want to do. Like, I want to implement the old school feel to a match, like a big fight feel, kind of main event match. Like, it's always been something I've been into, and I hope I give that back to the audience, because it's important. It's important to me for me to give that off. If I'm not, then I'm definitely not doing my job. You know what I mean?
Well, we were talking about being able to brand yourself. You are the only person as a wrestler. I'm not selling your T-shirts. I'm not making stickers for you. You're the guy who's got to push yourself. You have to be your own salesman. And like you were saying, if you don't do that and you don't market yourself and you don't get your face and or name out there, it's very, very difficult. You have to push yourself out there, because no one else is gonna.
Yep, you're right about that.
Now,
oh,
go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I thought you were done. Sorry.
No, you're talking about the big fight feel. I know of Jay Vara over the course of a little bit. So when I got to see and I actually commentated, not a very good job, might add. I'm not a good commentator. I have fun, but not a good commentator. I will tell you, you and Carlito had this buildup, and I was like, you know what, man? And I know it wasn't like a storyline buildup, but we had a little bit of time to get like that feel. And it's exactly what you're talking about, man. You going against Carlito, I'm like, I cannot wait for this match.
It was awesome, man. I remember I flashed the belt to you when I was walking back out. I was like, oh, I got it, Don. And it's like, it's always good to see familiar faces in the audience or announcing or whatever, because it kind of calms you down. It's a good nervous feeling, but it calms you down when you see people that you know. So definitely, I was awesome fighting Carlito. I always watched him on TV. He's a great example. He's a great worker. He knows exactly what he's doing in the ring, and it was a dream of mine to go against Carlito, and it did feel like exactly what we represented. It was a heavyweight title match, and I got the belt, the championship, and it felt awesome because I was like, wow, I just beat Carlito. That's dream stuff right there. You know what I mean? And man, I mean, I don't even know how much more I can say. I was definitely enjoying that moment. I watch it and I'm like, wow, I was in there with that guy going full, the
Yeah.
whole 9 yards. It was
Hmm.
sick. But if I could portray that, show that in a match, we could build it up with promos. A
Hmm.
week here, another week, the other guy says something,
Right.
and it adds attention to the show and it builds it up and it makes more people want to come to the show and enjoy it. Why not? You know what I mean? But it just has to be done right.
And because without a storyline being built within the company, you've got to be able to do something to hype that up because it doesn't always work when a name is on a card and eyes want to come. That's not always the case. But if you put a name against one of our favorite men and women that we see on our local scene,
Yeah.
dude, like you said, give me a couple promos, give me something to feed off of leading up to that event. I'm all in, man. I am totally in.
Yep, definitely. You promote it enough, before you know it, it's gonna be there will be people at that show. I guarantee you that. And it's a hell of a memory. It's a great memory, and it creates moments. You know what I mean?
And where I was going with the whole WWE thing, and then I kind of reverted to what I was growing up on. I love to take down mental notes of specific things in wrestling that it could be, a promotion in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, wherever I kind of frequent.
Yeah.
Those little moments in time where I think it should be etched. And like Jay Vara versus Carlito. Carlito comes out with the apple. He's got the hair. He's still in fantastic shape. I'm on the commentating mic I'm calling him Carlos Colon. I called him twice. I felt like an ass, but it is what it is. But my point being is I'm I'm in the moment right now.
Yeah.
History is being created. Jay Vera versus Carlito. Carlito doing the thing. That's bringing me back way back when we used to watch Carlito come out
Yeah.
with his apple and be a jackass to people who spit it in the face. So for me as a fan, that was actually is really cool. But as a wrestler, though, like you're saying, I've watched Carlito. I've seen that gimmick. I dug it. And now look at me, man. I'm wrestling him for a title. Out of all things, it's a title match.
That's how fulfilling it could be when you just pretty much stay in it. There's a lot of things that could be discouraging on the way I'm doing this. Like, believe me, I was in Germany. I didn't want to be over there alone, but you're doing it for the dream of the dream that you have to want to do this craft, which is a beautiful art in itself, and I consider it art. Art is subjective,
It is.
and anybody could have said anything about that Carlito match, and I'm glad I got so much great feedback for it. Like, oh man, it's awesome to see you going against him because we used to watch him. I got guys that I grew up in the neighborhood here in New York. They're like, what, Carlito? And it's like, man, I'm like that hits a spot. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good, and it's like hard work leads you to moments like that, and just
Mhm.
staying consistent and like pretty much consistency is everything with wrestling. Honestly, pro
Yeah.
wrestling, you got to be consistent and patience because there's moments where there's gonna be it's gonna be rough patches, tough times all the time, but there's those moments that you're like, wow, I did that, and you can
Mhm.
just check it off your bucket list. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You're a young person. Uh, do you feel that you're looking to take this for the long haul to get to that platform of being on the big stage with the WWE, AEW, or whatever kind of, whatever you feel is a big platform? Is that what Jay Vera is looking to do with wrestling? Because not everybody's looking to do that, to be honest with you.
Wow, that's interesting to hear that because I would think that to make it to make money full time, to pay your bills with it is the ultimate goal. But yeah, you're right. Everybody has a different goal, you know, different situation, whatever. It's to each his own. I completely understand. But I've been investing so much time in this that that's the ultimate goal, and I see it no other way. I feel like it's gonna happen with consistency, hard work, patience, pretty much everything we've been talking about. Just dedicating myself to the craft, and eventually making this my only job. You know?
Now, getting on that bigger stage, and like you said, it's a give and take. Sometimes there's some cool highs, sometimes there's some crappy lows. Uh, Hypothetically, we're speaking here. Jay Vara gets seen. Now he's in the performance center, and they want to take your gimmick, chuck it out of the garbage, chuck it into the garbage, and just hear me out now. Now they want to kind of give you a goofy little gimmick that you are not going to be very comfortable with. Does Jay Vera take what he's all of that time working up to this point? You know what, man? I've worked my ass off to get here, and this kind of thing is not going to stop me because I'm going to show them I can take this gimmick, run with it, do what they want with it, but it's not what I'm really comfortable with. Is that what you would do with it, or be like, hey, man, I'm Jay Vera, and I'm trying to like keep this look, you know, the Rock look, you know? Where do you fit on that kind of thing?
I feel that definitely if you're dealing with a big promotion, as in, let's say AEW, Impact, WWE, if WWE tells you to, hey, we want to try something with you, they damn well know they could find a million other people to do that character, that persona, whoever from wherever walk of life they're from. So I'm definitely gonna be ready to be like, yeah, what character was that you guys were talking about? Because you got to be coachable. It's whatever the promoter in a smaller promotion in the independents. I'm pretty sure a promoter is gonna tell me, hey, you know, this is what it's gonna, and it's like, got it, bro. You know, I mean, it's you're there to work. You're there to do a job and pretty much please the crowd, please the audience, and if the WWE was to ask me to remove the complete man and hey, we got a whole nother persona for you, how about you try it out? I'm definitely gonna try it out because it's my dream. It's been the goal, and I recommend everybody to just be coachable. You know what I mean?
Now, being coachable is a very uh it's a very solid phrase in wrestling, but like not everybody is. And maybe sometimes not everybody wants to because they've been taught a way, and that's the way that they perceive that's the way it should be. So again, these experiences from place to place, and you don't have to go to like 10,000 different places to get experience. It's even just sitting down and talking to, you know, maybe a vet that's on a bill or somebody that has a little bit more experience on the indie scene that you could bounce a couple things off of and stuff like that. So it's not always, you know, a training thing or an in-ring thing.
Yeah, yeah, it really isn't. You could talk to any of these guys that do. If I'm pretty sure when things get back to normal, there'll be seminars going on, and I just recommend guys to go to a seminar, you know, a reputable seminar, and then actually ask whatever questions you guys struggle, whatever question you're struggling with within your character, or what you should do in the ring, how you should represent yourself coming out to the ring, how you should talk, whatever look, oh, dyeing your hair, whatever look you ask them, they'll give you good feedback because, I mean, they've been in it for years, 25, 30 plus years, and it's like they're there to give knowledge. They're an open book. Every seminar I've been to, I've asked a million questions because I'm like, okay, what about this? And you know, you want to figure this out, and you want to put this move on this guy. Can you put it this way? And even like you said, out of the ring, knowledge, how to conduct yourself, you know, shaking everybody's hands, being polite, you know, the whole nine on how to behave in the locker room. And you learn a lot, and you learn things that you wouldn't even think what you think you're gonna ask them. You come up with a whole bunch of more knowledge. And you're like, wow, I didn't even know about this. But you learn so much when you do seminars. I think seminars are awesome because you get to show what you've got, and you get a good assessment of what you want to fix and like what could to keep. You always want feedback. You always want something to change. It's always good to get patted on the back. Oh, that was great. Oh, you look great. You look great. You want to hear a negative, like, oh, hey, this is what you should stop doing. This is what you should, if there's no negative, then damn, should be on TV already. But there's always room for growth. You're always learning. I'm learning stuff even talking to you right now. Honestly, you learn stuff every day, and it's part of. You're always gonna learn no matter what in this wrestling stuff, and it's just part of the process.
Before taking up this independent wrestling scene, probably around, I don't know, 2016-ish, if you will. But leading up to that, I was in an 80s, I guess we'll call it an 80s hair band. I did the Judas Priest and Motley Crue and all of that.
Nice.
And we had a blast. And I did that one band there for like 6 years solid. But now that I'm into wrestling, and I never realized it until I got into the independent wrestling, because I've watched wrestling my whole life from 5 years old up. Wrestling and music, very similar all across the board. You can pick a topic, and I bet you I can compare both of them together and very similar. Now,
sure.
the most compared thing, though, that I've kind of, as talking to you men and women, the guitar neck. There's really no end to that thing. It's almost like with numbers. Numbers are infinite. Same thing with the guitar neck. You can never learn the guitar neck. Totally. It just goes and goes and goes. Same thing with wrestling. It's always evolving. And even if it isn't, you still got a lot of psychology, ring work, the whole 9 yards. It takes a long time to get to one point. Then once you get to one point, you're like, oh shit, I just scratched the surface.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned, music, like the crowd, everything with timing. We talk about footwork, but everybody has to be in sync in the band. It's all entertainment, but definitely you always have to be aware that, you may have mastered one thing, but there's so many. I mean, it'll happen naturally. You're just gonna bump into other ways that you're gonna be like, oh man, I gotta get this now. And you're going in the locker room, and you're like, you could be completely oblivious to the whole shaking hand thing, but I guarantee you, before that show's done, everybody's gonna be like, listen, man, shake everybody's hand, bro. You gotta say hi to everybody. You can't just stand in the corner and be nervous. You definitely you gotta know how to behave in the locker room. That's an important thing to me. The etiquette. It gets you very far. And I'm not saying to like be up anybody's butt, but you definitely have to be humble, shake hands, and make yourself known that you're there. Let people know that, hey, my name is Jay Vara. I'm from New York. I'm available, if you need any help next time, I'll be here. You need me at a certain time, I'll definitely be there. You know what I mean? When you do small things like that, people will remember that, and they'll be like, wait, oh, hey, Jay, could you help me out with the ring? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, you get closer to the ring, hell, you figure out how to put the ring together. Boom. Before you know it, they're like, yeah, I'm short a guy. Can you do a battle royal? Those are the steps that kind of get you in the whole circle of the thing, and keep you in it pretty much. You can stay in this thing as long as you want. It's up to, you know what I mean?
Cody Rhodes is still doing the same thing to this day. He still breaks down the ring. He still puts up the ring. He'll sweep. He'll put up the chairs or whatever. I've seen him at indie shows before this whole AEW thing kind of really got kicked off. I've seen it firsthand.
Man, I was setting up a ring in England every day, and wrestling in that same ring, and guess what? Everybody leaves. Time to put the ring back in the car and off to the next spot. It is what it is. You just gotta go through the grind.
We know you from around. Well, I know you personally from around the Massachusetts shows, and then you've kind of crept in a couple in CT at Test of Strength, I was like, wait. Jay Vara is going to be at Test of Strength. I go to every single Test of Strength show, and I was flipping my shit. I was like, yes. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But Now, you're talking about going to Germany, WXW. I know some boys and girls out of that specific that were even champions at the time. Well, and I'll just use a major, someone that probably more people be familiar if I announce other ones would be David Starr, was a shotgun champion for quite some time, and he was bringing that to the States and defending it. Now, my point being is Jay Vara leaves the States, goes to Germany to train, and he's there for a month. And you said, Walter, it was probably a little bit harder than you were used to, I would imagine. What were the major differences that Jay Vara found from when he was training in the States to when he went to Germany, not only for like a day or a week and then flew back, he was there for a month. What were the major differences?
Wow. Well, the food was awesome. I love the food. Felt like my skin was healthier when I got back. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna start eating regular food again. But the food, the schnitzel, everything was awesome. The weather, I mean, the weather was kind of like cold for the most part. I went in the fall. Um, with stuff in the ring, yeah, I guess every school is different.
Mm-hmm.
The academy was awesome because it was right. You get out of bed, you shower, you get your stuff ready, and then you go right around the corner, and it's right there. So you just open the ring up, start rolling around, loosen the ropes, tighten them up, get it ready, and kind of just get yourself ready, stretch out, just get in the ring. And whenever there weren't classes, you kind of get in there and freestyle, and you get to stretch out, work on your own stuff. But whenever there was classes, there was beginners, intermediate, and experience, and I got in all of them just because I mean that's what I'm there for. You know what I mean? I did the beginner class, which is pretty much going from rolls, learning how to land. Intermediate, going into the holds. Experience, having full blown 5 minute matches and getting an interview. You know what I mean? It's awesome because they have a curriculum. They have a weekly class schedule. They have a different teacher every day, and it's as organized as could be. And what better than that? You know what I mean? They have their own facility there. They have rooms right upstairs. It's
Awesome.
really really cool. I would love it. I would like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure Seth Rollins has a school in
Mm-hmm.
Washington. I know it's like they have their own dorm room. It would be awesome to have a facility like that closer, in the New York area or the East Coast area. You know what I mean? It was really
That's
cool seeing that difference and being able to just be there the whole month doing everything I've been wanting to do since I was a little kid. You know what I mean? Just going in there and sparring with everybody. I had Timothy Thatcher, Walter. The list goes on. There's so many guys, up and coming guys that are on the main roster now
mm-hmm.
that are doing excellent now. I'm happy for them. You know what I mean? Because they started training there, and then they eventually made it to the main roster, which is cool. Always cool to see somebody you kind of came up with, somebody you train with, do better and get to that level.
Absolutely. Now, excuse me. Now, when you're out there, you're by yourself, you're in like uncharted waters because you're like, I don't even know what I'm getting myself into, but I know it's going to be wrestling. I know it's going to be experience. And I know when I get back home, no matter how long I'm there for, I'm going to go back home to New York a better wrestler
Yeah.
with that experience, no matter what it be. Even if it's just a mat, that's fine. But if I get more, that's all bonus to it. So I
Yep.
applaud you for going out there because it's not an easy process. I listened to a lot of Jericho podcasts on the major names that I like in wrestling,
Yeah.
and I've heard these women going out to Japan for 1, 2, 3 months at a time, have no clue what the hell is going on, but they're trying to make that dream happen.
Yeah.
And Jay, I applaud you for that. That's not an easy gig.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. I give it to anybody. You do anything you love and you just keep doing it and doing it, rewards are gonna come your way 100%.
How long were you an active wrestler before you went out to Germany? Because you said you did all three classes, and maybe it wasn't something you had to do, but you wanted to experience all of that. So how
Yeah.
many years were you in when you got to Germany?
Well, I trained at Gleason's gym at Johnny Ross School for a good 4 or 5 years. Like I was just doing a lot of student shows, and
Okay.
lack of confidence. You're trying to figure out what to do. I used to do a Polynesian character. I was like a Hawaiian. I was like Hawaiian gimmick, and you did a whole barefoot deal. But you kind of in those early stages, you're brainstorming on like you're figuring out what to do, how to do everything the way you want to do it, your personality. And I got out, and I eventually started doing seminars, and then I went over to CCW and with DJ Hyde and doing a couple of sessions with them, doing the advanced classes, having matches, doing the dojo wars, and DJ just kind of mentioned the whole idea of WXW, and it was like, hey, you wanna give it a shot and go out there? I was like, wait, like me? Like you telling me to go over there? I'm like, you know what? Give me the email and I'll figure it out from there. And as soon as he mentioned it to me, I was like going overseas. It was like a little intimidating, but those are kind of the steps you have to take to become confident in this. You just got to put yourself in uncomfortable positions at all times. I'm pretty sure guys are gonna get a promo. Hey, you got 5 minutes. One time I was at a XWA and I had to kill some time before a match. I'm like, oh, go out there and kill like 5 minutes. I'm like, wow, those are like those are pressure situations that make you better. When you're
Yeah.
uncomfortable, it's either sink or swim. You better swim
Mhm.
because it makes you better.
Do you find yourself, we've mentioned quite a few places and you've been in the game for a little bit. Do you find yourself with the fans behind you pretty much wherever you go, or do we kind of boo you and pee on you a little bit?
um, I I don't know. I guess it's however you feel like reacted to Jason Vera is how I'm just gonna just
Gonna
register
react to
and,
it.
and
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, react to it the way I see fit. Um, hell, I love being a babyface. I love being a heel also. It's the best. Both worlds are the best, honestly.
Now I am told, because I'm not a wrestler. I'll never be a wrestler because, as Ronnie Ribb says, I'm like 35 pounds soaking wet. So I am definitely not getting in that ring. Um, so as a wrestler, do you find heel, I'm to here, is more fun being the villain, because it's almost a little bit easier because you can get the crowd's reaction a little bit more than trying to get them to rise you up as a baby face sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. I've gotten more experience as a heel my later years because it's just I don't know. I guess the complete one can't be too much of a humble baby face when you hear the complete Jason Vera. I'm pretty sure everybody's like, oh, this guy's a jerk. I'm like, nah, boo. So I'm pretty sure it's easy for people to be like, this guy, I don't even want to deal with this guy. And it's easy for me to do that, honestly, because yeah, you're right, baby. When you're a baby face, you're kind of like working for that, working
Mhm.
for them to get behind you, and it is tough. It really is tough, but if you figure out the I guess the dimensions of a match and you figure out how to just slow things down,
Mhm.
eventually they come back and they're like, okay, we want this guy to get this guy, and they start cheering for you. They start getting that little slow clap, and they're like, Jason, and that's when you know, okay, they're behind me. It's time. But yeah, heel is way easier.
I, I I could imagine, because I mean, I love to piss off the heels so bad, but it just
Yeah.
comes so naturally. It's one of those things, though. It just comes so naturally for me.
Hey man, you're a heckler. I need you there. You need to be there so I could be like, hey, I hate you. No, it's always awesome having you, Don. It's awesome having a reaction and having that audience interaction, that's the best, man, because it just makes that match 10 times better.
And that's the thing that you boys and girls are feeding off of, because I've also come to find out, but I like to gauge from one to another. And I know I might ask similar questions on these things, but if I don't, then I don't get to get the mindset and how you have reacted to us.
Yeah.
Has that always been in your tool bag of listening to us, or was it something you had to kind of develop over a little bit of time?
Yeah, it took me a minute, a good while, to not worry about, oh my God, my match, and then it's like the crowd, and then you watch that stuff back, and thank God that there's some, like, YouTube and all these, because I'm pretty sure 10 years, I mean, not 10 years ago, 10 years ago, YouTube was coming out, and I can't imagine guys back in the day having to figure out how to get better fast. Now you could just take your phone, ask one of your buddies to record you, and then you're like watching the match, and you can see the crowd is not reacting to what's going on in the ring. And then it just took, like, maybe, I don't know, I guess 7 years in, I was just like, you gotta listen to the crowd. It's so important to hear that the little, ups and downs of the crowd, because it makes the match go so much better, instead of you worried about, like, what you called in the back, or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because your mind is like, okay, I have this, and this, but later on in the match, I've got this, and this, and you're kind of tunnel visioning. And we're giving you whatever we're giving you, but sometimes it's not always heard. And that's why I've kind of brought that to this forum, because it's very intriguing to me. Like, do they really hear us? And, like, when we say these things and they react to us, are they just reacting to us because it's something to do? Or is it actually they're feeling it and now they're adding it to their performance? And I see it on both ends of the spectrum. So that's why I'm very intrigued by it,
Yeah, I think it's interesting, because it's not a lost art. It still goes on to this day. You know what I mean? I know calling things in the ring, like everything, improv. It's a little bit dated, but it's good to have those elements. It's good to have those improv elements. It's like you said, like music, like comedy. You have to feel the crowd and to see what to scratch off, what to keep on. You know what I mean? And it's essential. One of those things that you just gotta grasp over time. Over time, you kind of get a better grasp of it, and ace it after a while. You start killing it after a while.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, the music wrestling correlation, dude, I would sit here and we weren't original. It was all cover stuff, obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would kind of break this up because I've known, the material growing up or whatever. So I would get on the guitar, try to get it together, and I do not lie, Jay, I would play this effing song the very first time I actually got it together once. I would play that damn song 20 to 30 times over and over and over. And then, of course, I would get to band practice with the five of us, and I would F up something stupid. And I'm like, how can that even happen,
Yeah, yeah.
But it's trudging through, it's pushing through, and making that performance happen, because when things happen, a miscue, I don't like the word botch. I think it's kind of, I just
I
don't
don't
like
like
that.
it either. I don't like
Yeah.
that word either. Yeah, it happens.
Oh,
Now that we're talking about, I guess, botches, let's use it now. That it happens. You're gonna have a night where it's like, damn, I freaking bombed, and then there's gonna be nights where you're like, wow. It has to do with chemistry also. You gotta
yes.
be on the same page with the guy, or girl, guy, or tag team, whatever it is. Tag team matches are just are its own tricky entity. A one-on-one match, it's easier, but it's like it's all on you and that other guy. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of listening, like you said, with the audience, listening, being aware of the ring presence, and everything. It's so many elements that make a match a 5-star match, that eventually it's like what you were saying earlier. You kept getting that song and that rep, and you kept doing that rep, and you got that rep, and then at practice you didn't get it, but I'm pretty sure you got it when it was time to kill it at the show. You know what I mean? So it's like
Absolutely.
messing up at practice, messing up everywhere. You can even mess up, it can't be a big show, but it happens in those shows. But you regroup and
Hmm.
practice it better next time, and guarantee you kill it when it comes to the actual show when it's showtime.
Now, there is this one section, modern day cowboy from Tesla. There's a little kind of acoustic section, and it's like a bridge, if you will. And it's like, ding, ding, ding. It's got these little stringy things. That was my job. Okay. That one specific part, everybody stops. I do the little thing. And my goodness, Jay, I felt the pressure every single time because
Trust me, I know how that feels. It
because
happens,
now
man.
there's five of us, but now that spotlight that's kind of broad and on the stage, it just all swoops down on Don Kincaid, and I'm like, oh God, please just do this correctly.
It's so funny because the pressure of your peers is like, it's like, oh, your peers are like, come on, what the hell? And then the crowd has no idea what's going on. And it's like, you're like, oh my God, everybody's coming down on me. Backstage, everybody's like, what the hell, bro?
Yep,
But,
yep.
it's just that it's part of the animal that it is entertainment. You know what I mean? It's going to be times like that, and it helps you get better, helps you grow.
Boy, does it, because man, I've run into a lot of jokers on the music scene. I've run into a lot of jokers in the music scene. I've never portrayed to be some Eddie Van Halen by any stretch of the imagination to
Yeah.
get in a band or something. I mean, for real, my guys would call me Power Chords Kincaid because that was my comfort zone. It is what it is, man.
Yeah. That's funny, man.
But I mean, I never portrayed to be something better than I was, though. I was always, always
Yeah,
honest with the whole thing, So
yeah.
I think just being honest, no matter what, in your position, may it be music, may it be your art, may anything,
Yeah,
I just think you just got to be honest with yourself, because if you don't, you're kind of, I don't know, it's hard to fake through shit. People with the way things are nowadays, and it's not, take the virus thing away. Our attention span is the most horrible it's ever been, probably in a human race, because of the whole social media thing.
social media is crazy.
So, and I'm not trying to come down on any of that, but what I'm trying to make a point is, uh, we catch shit so quick and we react so quick and we have to come down so quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, quick to
So,
judge and just put a label on it right away.
mhm.
But yeah, man, it's crazy these times. With social media is it's a weak point and it's a very strong point. It's
Absolutely.
so much that we could do with it, but just not. Ah, man, it's just like so many. That's a whole nother interview with social
It
media.
is, because I stopped watching porn. Like, no, wait, never mind, never mind. That's for a different day. I'm sorry. Um, no, you're in the New York City area. I'm in the
Yeah,
Connecticut area, and I have seen some not only seen, I've met, and I've had a couple amazing men and women on here from the New York City area. So it's really cool to be able to use Skype right now with the Stir in the Pot format, and being able to kind of reach out to you men and women. And it's been such an amazing time, because I mean, we're all kind of tweaked out right now. So hanging out, just kind of shooting the about wrestling and some
rap.
Jay Vara, man. I just I love this stuff. But my point being, and I hate to repeat that, but I just ramble. Um, I've been to the BWF, and I've been to a few down there. Do you have a home promotion? Because I don't think I've really seen you at like a home base, if you will.
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm not based really anywhere. I do train at BWF. I'm doing a lot more shows in the East Coast, definitely, and not outside of New York, pretty much. Doing a lot of Test of Strength, PAPW.
Mhm.
Try to go out to XWA. Kind of those are kind of the places that I've been to. Jersey, ECPW. I've done a couple other promotions, but BWF, I've definitely trained out of there. Frank is a great coach. He's been there since '09 or 2010, actually, I believe. And yeah, that's pretty much where I train. Yeah, you never know when you see me at BWF. You never know. The right opponent, the right time, right circumstance. Hey, maybe even a championship. I'll definitely do a little bout there. For
Well,
you never know.
speaking of the BWF championship, one TJ Marconi was a champ for quite a bit, but Dominic De Niro has taken that from him. And just saying, I mean, I'm sure you're aware of one Dominic
Yeah,
De Niro.
man. Target is a target. So, hey, if there's gold, I'm definitely gonna be looking.
I'm about me some Dominic De Niro. I'm about me some Jay Vara to see if that match could ever happen. Holy crap. I would lose my crap again, probably. I do that a lot as a fan. It is what it
Hey,
is.
man. You never know, Don. You never know.
Well, we're gonna have to see where the hell that goes because I would love to see a matchup of that caliber. Um, now, the New York City area, the crowd is way different.
Yeah. That's so funny you noticed that. That's the first thing you said. Yep.
Dude, I went into Dario's and you go up to the second floor. It's a fitness center. Now, the first time I went there, there was no taped, like tarped off section. It was just wide open, okay?
Oh, wow. Oh, you went to the sold out, the crazy show, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, sold out and crazy. It's probably just a tip of the iceberg on that one. But it's way in the corner. It's this huge ass room.
Yeah.
And way in the back corner, they kind of tape it off now. And you open this curtain and it's like, holy crap, this is a whole new world in here.
Yeah.
The music is quite loud. The crowd is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like we do our boos and we do our cheers, and I say certain specific things to certain specific guys. Not these cats. They go off. They do not hold back at all. It is crazy with the fans in New York City. Do you find that differential from place to place or state to state, if you will?
Oh, man. Sorry I had to go through that, Don. No, it's funny, though. It's funny you notice. You notice the difference. See, we're from New York. When we go out, we're like, wow. I'm like, damn. I'm like, wow, everybody's like so nice. It's so crazy. It's like people like kind of get out of your way, and it's like so respectful. I'm like, I just kicked your favorite guy's ass, right? What the hell? Why are you guys not coming down on me? But man, I'm just used to the New York scene. That's how New York is, gritty, just in your face, like they just want to rip your face off. And compared to Connecticut or anywhere else, Massachusetts, you're like, wow, it's the crowds are still crazy. Don't get it wrong,
Just a
but
little.
yeah, and then you're like, it's such a pole. It's ridiculous the difference. But yeah, trust me, it was the other way around. You were coming to New York, I was leaving New York, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, damn, do I really want to go back to New York?
Me and my dad said the same shit because I took my dad there. He goes to all the shows with me, and he went with me to the Bronx, and we went on to go see One Nutrius X because he hasn't been there in a few years. So I wanted to show some support. So we went for one wrestler only to go give him some support. And whenever we went up there, yeah, man, when we got in there, my old man goes, I don't know if I'm coming back. This place is nuts.
That's hilarious. I mean, damn, what a reaction! That made me want to be like, Dad, let's go back next month. Let's see what we got. Because it's pretty intense. Yeah, I could imagine how intense it was. But that's awesome that you got to see the New York scene and got to compare it to all the other. It's like the territories. It's like the territories are kind of coming back in a way.
To a degree.
I like it. I feel like I'm back in the 80s or something. Such a cool feeling to see that, like, just different promotions just come out of nowhere and like, whoa, let me check that spot out. Let me check this spot out. Really cool. Yeah.
Now, you've mentioned some of the really cool places I've been to. Texas Strength, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, XWA up in Rhode Island. Holy cow, man, do I have some fun at these promotions. Now, when we get back to some kind of normalcy, because I hope that's way sooner than later,
Me too.
does Jay Vara have any certain promotions that he hasn't tapped into that he would really have his eyes set on and maybe a little reaching out to try to get a foot in the door?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to give it a go at Evolve again and try to test myself again. Check it out. I love Limitless. Limitless Wrestling is awesome.
Mm.
And Beyond, I'm guessing they're getting some type of network. I don't know if they're gonna be on TV or something. Just trying to just move on up and try different promotions. Yeah, I'm gonna still do the local promotions, Test of Strength and PWF, XWA, PAPW, all the great promotions that gave me an opportunity. Because I'm never gonna forget that. They give me a spot to do what I like to do. You know what I mean? But definitely want to get my craft out to more people, like a wider audience. And I feel like
Nice.
Beyond, Limitless, hell, Evolve is affiliated with the WWE. It's all just getting your craft out there to more people, to a wider audience is what's important. Because at the end of the day, people are gonna remember. People are gonna be like, hey, Jay Vara, Jason Vera. I need, it. You just make a memory and make an impression, and that's pretty much what kind of keeps you in the loop with this stuff.
And that's what's really cool about Evolve, because William Regal, he personally goes to these Evolve shows just to scout indie talent to
Yeah.
see who he can bring into the performance center to make them one of those rising stars. So I would absolutely love to see you at an Evolve show. Beyond as well. And I'm not citing anybody else. I'm just saying specifically, like you said, there's a tie-in with WWE. Now you're talking Limitless Wrestling. That's gotta be like freaking 6-7 hour drive for you, no?
It is what it is, Don. You got to make those drives, especially from New York. Imagine that with traffic. When all this gets better, imagine with people out and summer heat. But you got to do it. That's pretty much that's the stuff. Those trips, those long drives, is what makes you want it more.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell everybody, it just makes you hungrier.
Well, now that you put, when we all come back and the roads are going to be crazy from you to Limitless, let's see. Let me tack on 1, 2, 3. It's probably like a 12-hour drive.
Don't worry. I'm gonna test myself and probably drive all the way back that same night.
Wow.
Nah, I probably won't.
That's a little rough right there. Yeah, that is brutal.
Yeah.
Jay Vara, this interview was exactly, and I always try to gauge on what I'm going to end up at the tail end of each interview. This was exactly how I expected it. You were very informative, very open, very cool. I swore a couple times. I didn't really mean to. You were very, you're just a great guy, and that's what kind of drew me to you as a character. You involve us. We give it back to you. And I can't wait to see more Jay Vara, especially. And I know because, again, and I'm not just, you're freaking gorgeous. You got the package, dude. You're TV ready. You're TV ready, man. You're like that. You're on the cusp.
Thank you, man. I appreciate those words, man. That just motivates me even more, man. It just makes me want to keep doing this. I appreciate that. And thanks for reaching out, for sure.
Absolutely, man. This was been an absolute pleasure. How do we, the fans that don't know you, how do we look you up? And the ones that do know you, I'm sure they got a little bit more of Jay Vara, and I'm so glad you shared all of that information. But how do we find you on the social media?
Well, Instagram, I have JAY_VARA, Jay Vara. It's the same on Facebook. Twitter, it's JAYVARA2088. It's just so many Jay Veras out there. I gotta add a couple digits. And man, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I have my own YouTube channel. It's Jay Vara also. You can look me up under that. It's nice. Right under the Instagram, right at the bottom of the Instagram profile. Right there, the link is. Thank you, man.
Cool. Oh, absolutely. This has been an absolute pleasure with a fantastic, yet another fantastic talent on the independent scene.
Thank you.
I say the independent scene, but I really want to say our local scene, because we the fans, we got to know Jay Vara a little bit more tonight. And for you that don't know him, get on the medias, check him out because he does have the complete package. Do yourself a favor, promoters, bookers, get him on the shows, man, because he brings an element. You always need an added element. Grab Jay Vara, throw him on it. Don't make him, and I know he's willing to. Don't make him put up the ring. Get him on your bill. It doesn't matter. This has been Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very, very special guest, complete Jay Vara, or the complete. How do I do that?
The complete Jay Vara.
The complete. I'm sorry. The complete Jay Vara. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.